People choose this life. You know? That's the line that hangs in the air, a quiet defense against a world that might see this existence as a sentence, not a selection. You see it when you drive to where the pavement gives up, where the cell signal becomes a ghost, and the landscape opens up into something vast and indifferent. It could be a village huddled against the immensity of a mountain range, a lonely island community lashed by salt spray, or a cluster of houses clinging to a riverbank miles from any highway. Here, civilization doesn't end, it just thins out, leaving behind a stark clarity and a quiet that feels ancient and profound. The houses here are often small, built for purpose rather than show, their paint scoured by wind and sun. The lights, if they exist beyond the flicker of a generator or a solar lamp, go out early, surrendering the night to a thick, velvet darkness. The sky above is enormous, a breathtaking canvas of stars that city dwellers have forgotten exists. The beauty here is a constant companion, but it's a beauty with an edge. It's in the sharp, clean light of dawn, breaking over a silent valley, turning the morning mist into a sea of gold. It's in the percussive sound of wind roaring through ancient trees, a sound so powerful, it seems to scrub the air clean. It's in the deep, resonant quiet that falls after a rainstorm, the dripping of water from leaves, the distant call of a bird. You can walk for hours and see the stars burn with a fierce, cold intensity, close enough to feel like lamps hung just for you. This raw, unfiltered beauty is a powerful balm. It brings a sense of calm that is increasingly rare in the modern world, a space for the mind to breathe and expand. It's a beauty that doesn't ask for anything, that simply is. For many who choose this life, this connection to the natural world isn't a luxury. It's a necessity air. It's the force that draws some people back, even after years spent away in the noise clutter, pulling them home to a place that feels elemental and true. But this same environment that offers such profound peace also presents a constant array of dangers. The weather is not an inconvenience, it is a powerful, life-altering force. A sudden blizzard can bury the roads for weeks, cutting off access to the outside world entirely. A flash flood can wash away the only bridge, turning a village into an island. The forces that create such stunning landscapes are the same forces that can threaten your very existence, and the people here live with a keen awareness of that duality, respecting the power of the world they inhabit. Medicine is far away. A serious illness, a bad accident, things that would be manageable emergencies in the city can become life or death situations here. Jobs are few and far between. When a vital piece of machinery breaks, there is no one to call. It must be fixed by hand, with ingenuity, with whatever parts are available. These are the hard realities, the daily calculations of risk and reward that make life at the edge of civilization a constant, demanding challenge. I found myself in a small village nestled by a wide, slow-moving river, a place where the main road just gives up and becomes a dirt track. A faded sign at the edge of the last town declared, "Last fuel for 80 kilometers." The village itself felt like a held breath. The school was a simple structure with 2 rooms. The small clinic had a nurse who came only 3 days a week. There was a single shop with dusty shelves, selling essentials. Most of what people ate, they grew themselves in gardens carved out of the rich riverside soil. There I met Anna. She was 32, with a quiet strength in her eyes and hands that were rough from a life of constant work. A small, pale scar on her chin, she told me, was from a fall she took as a child while chasing a runaway goat. Anna ran the 2-room school and in her remaining hours raised a small herd of goats that provided milk and cheese for her family and neighbors. She spoke of her sister, who lived in the city, and sent her glossy photos of towering buildings and streets ablaze with electric light. Anna could go there. The door was open, but she chose to stay. The people who live in these remote places are masters of adaptation. They learn to live with a level of risk that would be unthinkable to most urbanites, but they are not reckless. They find small, ingenious ways to mitigate the dangers that surround them. They are experts in foresight and preparation. Before the winter storms roll in, shelves are stocked with preserved foods. Firewood is stacked high, essential medicines are purchased and stored away. Before the fishing season begins, every inch of the boat is inspected and every knot in the net is checked and double-checked. This culture of preparedness is passed down through generations. Children learn from a young age how to read the weather in the clouds, how to walk safely across a frozen river, or how to swim against a strong current. This is not classroom learning. It is knowledge absorbed through daily life, essential for survival. They learn which plants are edible, which are medicinal, and which are poison. This deep practical knowledge is a form of wealth, a toolkit for thriving where outside help is a distant hope. Even here at the end of the road, the outside world is finding its way in. The change is no longer a distant rumor. It's a quiet but persistent reality. Cell phone signals, once non-existent, now reach into the deepest valleys, patching through on a clear day. A few scattered solar panels glint on rooftops, bringing reliable light to homes that once depended on kerosene lamps, allowing children to read after dark. New, more passable roads are slowly being carved into the landscape, shortening the journey to town from a full day to a few hours. These changes are altering the texture of daily life. These new connections bring both promise and peril. The phone that allows a daughter to talk to her mother in the city also brings with it the songs, fashions, and aspirations of a world far removed from the village. The internet, accessible on a single shared computer in the school, opens up a universe of information, but it also exposes the young to a life of ease and consumption that can make their own feel lacking. Traditions begin to feel the strain as new ideas take root. Despite the hardships, or perhaps because of them, people stay. The reasons are woven into the very fabric of their lives, as complex and deeply rooted as the trees on the hillside. For many, the choice is anchored in the powerful pull of family and heritage. They stay to be near the land their parents and grandparents worked. They stay to walk the same paths. They stay to live in the house that holds the memories of their entire lineage. It is a way of honoring the past and carrying it into the future. A deep-seated love for a place that is more than just soil and rock. It is home. This connection extends beyond blood relatives to the community itself. In a place where everyone knows your name, your history, and your struggles, there is a unique form of wealth. Neighbors are not strangers you pass in a hallway. They are an essential part of your survival network. They help each other without being asked. That closeness is a powerful reason to stay. The choice to stay is therefore a negotiation, a constant balancing act between the past and the future. It is a decision made not once, but every day. It is a private choice, weighed in the quiet of one's own heart. But it is also a public act with profound consequences for the community. Every family that chooses to stay helps keep the school open, the local festivals alive, the language spoken. Every person who passes their knowledge to the next generation ensures that the culture does not become a relic, but remains a living, breathing thing. When people leave, things vanish. When people stay, they persist. I stood one evening on a small, windswept hill overlooking Anna's village. The sun was falling slowly behind the mountains, painting the sky in fiery strokes of orange and purple. A line of cattle ambled along a dusty path toward home. I heard a woman's voice call out the name of her child, a clear, sharp sound that carried across the valley. Dogs wandered lazily through the lanes. Thin columns of wood smoke rose from chimneys into the cooling air. The few lights that came on were small and warm, beacons of life in the growing twilight. People choose this life. It is true.